Hi, I'm Bree, and I'm so happy you could be here today. Today, we're going to focus on some hip openers, getting a little bit of movement in our hips, our low back, our upper legs, just lengthening and creating some space for further movement later on. This practice is great for anyone, whether you work seated or you work where you walk a lot. Opening our hips is not some movements that we do on purpose very often. So if you're here, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the mat.
Thanks for joining me. Some props that we'll need today are a strap or something that you can use as a support from the bottom of the foot to the hands, like a towel or sturdy fabric. I'll be using this yoga strap from Gaiam, but Amazon has tons of options as well. And then two blocks or two books that are the same size can do the trick in a pinch, a bolster and a blanket or towel. We'll get started today lying down. So take a moment to come to a comfortable place, lying down, wherever that may be for you. I personally like to keep my knees bent, feet on the floor. It just feels more stable for me and comfortable in my low spine. But if you prefer your legs extended long, that's okay too. Once you find that comfortable place to rest, settle in, letting your arms rest down along your sides, palms facing up. Once you're settled in, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll do that one more time. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Then return to breathing naturally here, in and out through the nose. Allow yourself to settle in, giving yourself the time and space to soften and settle, releasing any tension that may be hiding out in the shoulders. Once you feel settled, turn your awareness inward to your breath, finding your own unique rhythm, feeling that expansion and contraction in the ribs, belly, and chest. Then feeling that release, the softening and settling in all those spaces. Take a few more breaths here to begin letting go of everything from your day, tuning in to this moment, this breath, on this mat, in this body. Then, whenever you feel ready, check in that your ankles are beneath your knees, feet on the floor, and then start to let the knees rock gently side to side, small, soft movements to awaken the body. We'll take one more breath here. And let your knees come back to their natural resting place. And check in that you feel stable where you're laying. Then, keeping your right foot planted on your mat, Draw your left knee in towards your chest. You can hold on here behind your thigh or interlace your fingers in front of your shin and breathe here. Stay here and breathe if it feels right for your body. Or on an exhale, start to open that left knee out to the side and up slightly, as if you're drawing it toward your left armpit. Wherever you are, knee in its neutral position hugged in towards the chest, or opening out and up toward your armpit, you can stay here. Or on an exhale, start to slowly extend the right leg long down your mat. And keep breathing. Take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, draw that left knee back to the center. Bring your right foot back to your mat. And then grab your yoga strap. Taking our strap, we're going to hook it on the ball of that left foot so that we can hold one end of the strap in each hand. And then extend the left leg long up towards the ceiling. With the leg extended, let your hands slide down the strap slightly so that your elbows can rest, supported on the floor. So our upper body is soft here. We're not trying to pull in any direction. Instead, we are supporting this lifted leg. And breathe here. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, bring both ends of the strap into your left hand. Bring your right hand to your right hip point, being sure that it's grounding down. So both hip points are pressing into your mat. Then make sure that they stay there as you exhale and begin to slowly open that left leg out to the side. After a few breaths, there may be space to open that left leg just a little more. And wherever you are, keep breathing and keep pressing out through that left foot, pushing it away from you. Keep breathing. We're moving slow so that we have the time to tune in and recognize how everything feels. One more breath right where you are. And on your next inhale, use your hands on the strap to slowly and gently lift that left leg. And once lifted, bend your knee, remove the strap, set the strap off to the side, and bring both feet to the mat. And take a moment to move and shift in any way that you need, maybe rocking the knees gently side to side. Then, when you're ready, we'll do that same group of movements on the other side. Inhaling to draw that right knee in toward the chest and breathing here. Drawing it in, but not so far that we block ourselves from having the space to take our natural depth of breath. And after a few breaths here, if it feels right for your body, on an exhale, start to gently draw that right knee up and out toward your right armpit and breathe there. Same option here as on the other side. If you feel stable and would like to give it a try, you can start to gently extend that left leg long down your mat. If it's uncomfortable, you can rebend the knee and bring the left foot back to your mat at any time. Check in with that internal rhythm of your breath moving in and out. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, start to draw your right knee back in. Bring the left foot back to your mat. Grab your strap and hook it on the ball of the right foot, extending the right leg up towards the ceiling. Remember, allow your hands to slide down the strap so your elbows can rest on your mat. Not pulling that right leg anywhere. Instead, allowing that strap to support the leg as it stays lifted. If you feel tension in your shoulders, see if you can soften that a little as you settle in here. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, bring both ends of your strap into your right hand. And then keep your hips grounded and level on your mat. And as you exhale, start to open that right leg out to the side, pressing out through that right foot, keeping that left hip down. So if it starts to lift away from the floor, back out a little bit so that both hips are grounded. more breath here. And on your next inhale, use your hands to help gently draw that leg back up towards the ceiling. Bend the right knee and remove the strap, and then bring both feet back to your mat. Take a moment here to let the knees rock gently side to side, or if it feels nice, hug both knees in close towards the chest and rock gently side to side there. Take a little massage on the low back. Next, we'll move into a happy baby pose, which is similar to what we were doing with one leg earlier, drawing the knee towards the armpit, but this time it's with both legs. So what we'll do is draw the knees towards the armpits and the feet together, and then reach between your knees to hold the outside edges of the feet with your hands. Take a breath here, and then on an inhale, lift the feet towards the ceiling, continuing to draw those knees towards the armpits and keep pressing out through your feet. It may feel nice here to rock gently side to side. Nothing too big, just soft, slow movements. And breathe here. And whenever you feel ready, draw the feet back together, release your hands, and then softly plant your feet back on your mat. And from here, whenever you're ready, we'll make our way to seated. And you can get there any way that you prefer, but I like to roll to one side, because if we sit up too fast, we can get dizzy. So lying on your side, take a moment to breathe. And then, when ready, gently press yourself up to seated. Once seated, take a moment to find your comfortable seat. And once you're comfortable, allow yourself the space to settle in. Let your body readjust to sitting upright again. It may feel nice here to close your eyes and reconnect with your natural rhythm of breath, following its movements through your body. If it's comfortable here, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And breathe here, settling in. And when you're ready, on an inhale, reach your arms down, out, and up. Stretch up tall. And exhale, release your hands down to your heart. And we'll do that again. Inhale, reach your arms down, out, and up. Stretch up tall. Then exhale, palms together as your hands come to your heart. And last time, inhale, arms out and up, stretch. Exhale, hands to your heart. Then from here, on your next exhale, we'll release those left fingertips down to your mat, to the outside of your left hip. If that feels uncomfortable, you may like to use your block, bringing it under your hand so that you have something stable to ground down into. Then, on your inhale, reach your right arm out and up, up overhead, sitting up tall, activating those deep core muscles, drawing the low belly in and up. And exhale, start to lean to your right. The right elbow may bend slightly here as you reach and lengthen. It may feel nice here to look up towards the ceiling or down toward your mat, depending on what feels the best in your neck. And breathe here, noticing that expansion of space on that left side in between those ribs. And on your next inhale, come all the way back up to center, and we'll switch sides, bringing that left hand to your fingertips or your block on the outside of the left hip. Inhale, reach the right arm up, draw the low belly in and up, and exhale, lean to your left. Same option here, gaze can turn up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. Notice the space you're creating in those right ribs. On your next inhale, come all the way back up to center. Release the right hand down. From here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees open wide. And you can hold on wherever feels best, ankles, arches of the feet, or interlace the fingers in front of your toes. If you're holding on at your toes though, check in to be sure that you aren't using your hands to pull the feet away from the floor. We want to keep the edges of our feet pressing firmly into the mat. Wherever you're holding on an inhale, sit up tall. Draw the low belly in and up. And then as you exhale, start to slowly fold forward. As you fold, you may find that if you allow your elbows to bend straight back, they'll press into your inner thighs slightly. If you press with the elbows and it hurts, back out a little and don't press. It's just an option. And check in with your breath here. Be sure that you aren't folding so deeply that you can't take your natural depth of breath. If you can't, back out of the fold a little, keeping that space to breathe. We'll take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, gently lift back up to seated. And from here, we'll extend that right leg out wide. Left foot comes in towards your pelvis. Let that right hand rest on your right leg. Then on your inhale, we'll reach that left arm out and up, stretch up tall. Then exhale, start to lean to the right, letting your right hand slide down the leg. You can hold on at the shin, ankle, arch of the foot, whatever feels best here. Keeping that heart open, pointing away from you. So we don't want to round and curl down so that our chest is pointing down towards the floor. We want to keep that heart open, shining out away from us. And breathe here. One more breath here. Then, on your next inhale, gently begin to lift all the way back up to center. And then use your hands to help lift your legs so they can both extend long in front of you. Then bend the knees, bringing the feet to the floor, and lean back on your hands for a moment. And if it feels nice, you may like to rock the knees gently side to side here. Then, whenever you feel ready, we'll take that same stretch to the left, opening the left leg wide and drawing the right foot in towards your pelvis. Left hand rests on the left leg. Inhale, sit up tall, low belly draws in and up. Reach that right arm up overhead. And as you exhale, start to gently lean to your left. Keep that extended leg active, pressing out through that foot. Toes might point back towards your face just slightly. And remember to leave yourself the space to breathe. So if you can't take that full natural depth of breath, back out of the fold just a little bit. And on your next inhale, begin to gently lift. Use your hands to help lift your legs, and then when you feel ready, we'll come over to hands and knees. Take a moment to get stable here, checking in that your hips are stacking above your knees and your wrists are beneath your shoulders. If you have any sensitivity in the wrists, you can walk them slightly forward of the shoulder to release some of that tension. Then from here, we'll move through a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhaling to lift the tail, sink the belly, lift the heart, and lift the gaze. And exhale to round the spine like a wave. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And exhale to round the spine. Inhale, lift the tail, sink the belly, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And exhale, round the spine, pressing out through the shoulder blades. Inhale, sink the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, sink the belly. And exhale to round. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And from here, we're going to move into a wide-kneed child's pose, taking the knees about as wide as the mat or wherever is comfortable for you. Big toes come to touch behind you. And as you exhale, let your hips sink back and down towards your heels. And take a moment to get stable here. Then when you feel ready, on an exhale, start to slowly walk the hands forward until your forehead comes to rest on your mat. If your forehead doesn't come to rest on your mat, that's okay. You can bring a block underneath of your forehead to have that to rest it on. Or you can fold and stack your forearms one on top of the other to rest your forehead on. Whichever feels best, as long as the forehead is resting on something and feels stable. And once you have found your stable child's pose, settle in and breathe here. Tuning back into your breath and its unique rhythm. Notice how you feel those spaces in your body filling up when you breathe in, that expansion. And notice where you feel it release from first. when you exhale, following its path gently through your body. And if it's comfortable for you here, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And return to breathing naturally in and out through your nose. It may feel nice here to gently rock your forehead side to side, getting a little massage between the eyebrows. And take one more breath here in this child's pose. Then, when you feel ready, on an inhale, start to gently walk your hands in to lift your torso. And from here, we're going to move into frog pose, which starts similarly to child's pose. Before we do, take a moment to move in any way that feels right, maybe stretching one leg out and then the other. And then we'll come back to hands and knees, taking the knees wide, and maybe even slightly wider than they were before. So you may find that you need to turn which direction you're facing on your mat. The knees are going to go wide. And then instead of our toes coming to touch like they did in child's pose, we're going to keep our ankles in line with our knees. And the feet are going to turn out to the sides, kind of like a frog. Hips, we are keeping in line with our knees. So check in that your hips aren't rocking back behind your knees or forward in front of them. We want them to stay in the same plane. And you can stay here lifted on your hands, or I like to grab a block and then on an exhale, gently lower the forearms down to the block. Wherever you are, keep breathing. If it ever starts to feel like too much, you can come out of this posture at any time. It can get kind of intense. So if you feel like you're holding your breath or you're really tense, it may be time to go ahead and come out. But if you feel okay, keep breathing for just a few more breaths. And check in for a moment that your shoulders aren't shrugging up towards your ears and really tense. And if they are, on an exhale, soften them down and back away from your ears. We'll take one more breath here. And then on an inhale, we'll come out of this gently by walking our hands in to lift the torso. And then softly bring one knee back in and then the other. And then take a moment to move and shift in any way that feels nice. Maybe stretching out one leg and then the other, or letting the hips rock gently side to side. We're moving through a few more rounds of cat and cow. And then whenever you feel ready, we'll make our way to lying down on our back. Once lying on your back, take a moment to move in any way that feels good here, maybe hugging the knees in close to the chest and rocking side to side, or stepping the feet as wide as the mat and then rocking one knee in and then the other, kind of like windshield wipers. And then when you're ready, grab your block. We're going to make our way into supported bridge pose. So to come into supported bridge, bring your feet to your mat, ankles beneath the knees. And then on an inhale, press into your feet to lift your hips away from the floor. And then slide your block underneath of your hips, and then lower your hips back down onto your block. And check in for a moment here that the lumbar spine is not resting on the block. Rather, the block is under your pelvis, keeping you supported and lifted. You can stay here if this feels comfortable, or for some it feels nice to walk the feet as wide as the mat and then let both knees gently fall in toward each other. Another option is to extend both legs long down the mat, maybe even stretching the arms out up overhead. Wherever you are, take a moment to settle in. It may feel nice to let your eyes soften or even close if that's comfortable. Then draw your awareness back to your breath, feeling it moving in and out, expanding and contracting. If it's comfortable here, I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Then return to breathing in and out through your nose as your breath settles back into its natural rhythm. If you're comfortable here, you're welcome to stay here, or option to move into waterfall pose. If you'd like to come to waterfall, bring your hands to your block just to hold on to it, and then gently draw your knees up so that they stack above the hips. Once your knees are lifted, if your block tries to slide out from underneath of you, lower your feet back down and slide the block up a little bit higher and then try lifting the knees again. If the block feels stable, on an inhale, gently extend the legs up towards the ceiling and breathe here. Sometimes in waterfall pose, I like to take a moment to move through pointing and flexing the feet, or making gentle circles with the ankles. And take one more breath here. And whenever you feel ready, start to gently lower your feet back down to the mat if they aren't there already. Then gently press into the feet to lift the hips. Slide your block out from underneath of you, and then lower your hips back down onto the mat. Once your hips are resting back down on your mat, take a moment to move in any way that feels nice, maybe rocking the knees side to side. Or after this one, I really like hugging the knees in close to the chest, rocking side to side, massaging the low back a little bit. Or optionally, if you liked happy baby pose at the beginning, you're welcome to take that again here. And after a few moments to move and shift in any way that feels right, we're going to make our way into a supported bound angle pose. So for this one, we'll need our blocks and our bolster and a blanket or towel. So to start, we'll use our blocks at the top of the mat, the first one on its medium height, like this, and the second on its lowest height, pressing up against the first, like this. And then we'll rest the top of the bolster on the block so that it makes a kind of ramp. And once this is set up, I always recommend a little shake test to make sure that everything feels stable. And then once it does, um, if we will turn so that the base of our spine is pressing into the bottom of the bolster. And if you don't have a bolster and blocks, a couple of pillows here will be supportive enough for this posture, 2 or 3 at least. And then with the hands holding onto your props, on an inhale, sit up tall. And then bring your knees open wide, soles of the feet to touch. And then, unlike before, where we pulled the feet in close to the body, we're going to slide them out away from us a little bit so that our legs make more of a diamond shape. And then we're going to take our rolled up blanket and sit the middle of the blanket roll on our ankles so that it's resting here. And then we're going to pull the ends of the blanket underneath of our ankles to support there. And this will be a little bit of support for the knees. Then from here, bring the hands to the base of the bolster and inhale to sit up tall. And as you exhale, begin to gently lower down so that your back and your head come to rest on your props. And allow yourself a few moments to get comfortable, to settle in. And once you've settled, draw your awareness inward again to your breath. Take some time to tune in. Find your rhythm. Follow each inhale, feeling it move in with cool air through your nostrils, down into your chest, your ribs, your belly as they all expand. And each exhale as your belly, ribs, and chest soften and warm air brushes your upper lip as you breathe out. Follow this rhythm as you rest here in quiet stillness. From here, our next posture is Shavasana, our final resting pose. And if this is comfortable for you, you're welcome to stay here for Shavasana. Or optionally, you can use your hands to help bring your knees back together and extend your legs long down your mat. Take your time to make sure you're comfortable wherever you are. And allow yourself the space and time to settle deeply, feeling your head grow slightly heavier as it rests into gravity. Allow the muscles in your legs and your torso and your arms to all soften and settle in. And if it's comfortable here, take one last slow, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Allow yourself the space and the opportunity to rest fully. Allow your awareness to be here, in this moment, on this mat, with this breath, in this body. Settle in. Soften. Breathe. Gently begin to deepen your breath. When you feel ready, bring soft movement back to your fingers and your toes. Make little circles with your wrists and your ankles. It may feel nice here to stretch long like you just woke up this morning. Then whenever you feel ready, being mindful of any props you might be on, gently roll to lying on your right side. And take a moment here to just breathe. Reconnect with your breath, your body, and the space all around you. And whenever you feel ready, gently press yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking this time to take care of you, to listen to your breath, your body, and what you need for a little while. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed your practice and are feeling great. If you liked what we did, be sure to like and subscribe, and then leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next time. I would love to give you what you want. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me.